My name is Caden Pierce. I'm in Dr. Hayes' 9 a.m. Authentic Christianity class, and I did my book report over Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. Brief summary. You have three characters. You have Screwtape, Wormwood, Patient, and then you have the reference, the enemy, which is heaven and Jesus and God. So that's what the enemy is. The Patient is a human. Wormwood is a tempter demon. And then you have Screwtape, which is, he's part of the Lorikeey of Hell, a corporation that determines how to use Hell's temptation strategies on the earth. And he's very good at it. He's already gotten multiple patients into Hell. His nephew Wormwood is now trying to get his patient into Hell. And Screwtape is advising him on how to do that. There's multiple scenarios that is gone throughout the book. You have the opening where the patient is atheist, and Screwtape tells Wormwood that he needs to keep him not believing in the Lord in order to just easily lead him into hell. We see that fails, and the patient becomes a Christian. The next strategy that the Screwtape informs Wormwood on how to do is the patient lives at home with his mother who's sick, and he takes care of her. Now, Screwtape tells Wormwood that he needs to use that relationship as a way to just kind of get the patient to like grumble, complain, argue with his mom. That fails. Then we see that the next scenario is World War II breaks out. The patient is scared that he's going to go. Then there's a brief period where there's like the patient's not really doing anything. He gets these friends that are non-Christian, and that lead him down a road. We see that Screwtape informs Wormwood that he needs to use those relationships as a way to really drive the patient into hell. One of the ways he does it is he tries to get the patient prideful, meaning that he's better than his friends because he's Christian. He's better than Christians because his friends, he hangs out with smart people. That actually works for a brief moment. And then we see that the patient turns around, rededicates his life to the Lord, and then Screwtape tells Wormwood that use sexual pleasures as a way to tempt the patient into sin and then into hell. That fails because the patient marries a Christian woman who's from a Christian family, and that just kind of drives his relationship with the Lord home. Screwtape gets mad and says that the enemy's love for these humans or whatever, but he said something wrong, and basically something major happens. Wormwood kind of turns his uncle in. His uncle gets mad, turns into this centipede looking thing. It's kind of, I was confused at what happened at that point. Basically the charges were dropped or whatever. Then World War II the Germans start bombing the patient's hometown. The patient is basically in his unspecified duties, but it puts him in harm's way. We see that the patient is scared. The patient's kind of cowardice, and Screwtape wants Wormwood to use that, but he also warns Wormwood that you need to keep him alive because the enemy is preparing the soul of the patient, meaning that the patient will soon die, and you need to keep him alive so that you can use you have his lifetime to get him into hell. Ultimately, the patient dies trying to do one of his unannounced duties that we don't know about. And then we see at the end of the book that Wormwood is begging his uncle for mercy, basically because Wormwood now has to take the patient's place in hell. And basically he's just begging his uncle for mercy, and his uncle basically says that this is hell, there is no mercy, I can't wait to eat you alive, is what he said. Two things that I took away from it. One is when the patient was tempted with sexual pleasures because he was a guy, just like us. I can relate to that. That I feel like the devil uses that as a way to really drive us home, because he'll use sexual pleasures as a way to get us to slip up into sin. Also, who we hang around has a major influence on us. We can see that in the world around us today. Great read. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys read the book. Really good. Have a good day.